And there's a space there where working with the ego can help us to cut through these limiting stories that ego is just like constantly freaking creating for us. Because that's its job, to create those stories and create a narrative to navigate the world. It's just ill-suited for modern life. So that's step one and step two. So then a concluding thought would be that the more that we actually work with ego in this higher way, like gradually over time, the more its grip does actually loosen. So there is like hope for us, and a tremendous amount of hope that the answer to our pain and suffering, which like really mostly comes from our ego and the stories that it creates, like, you know, that I'm not loved, or like 10 years ago, whatever, my partner wronged me and I'm still feeling wounded by that, or that I'm always chosen last, or, you know, the story that things don't work out for me. Like all of these stories are creations of ego. And that is not the truth. You know, the truth is that, like, in this exact moment, you are okay. You are sitting in this class, everything's good. You're breathing clean air. You have food in your fridge. You're sitting in a chair, whatever you're sitting or standing, everything's good. You know, nothing's awry in this moment. You have shelter. You know, things are good, and you're listening to your higher wisdom. So much of our pain in life is due to ego, and its efforts are really simply misallocated or misdirected. And when we allow it to run the show, and we actually do allow it to run the show, when it is ill-suited to be running the show, what should be running the show is higher mind, and like our higher self should be driving the car of our life, and it should be steering the ship. And again, Jung called it the process of individuation, which is the same as our process of increasing contact with the higher self until you're living your life through the impulses of higher self. So the thing to say is that the more you work with the ego, the more and more like habituated you become to putting it in its proper place and living in higher mind. And this actually like does become a habit over time. And it also does require work. Like it requires a lot of work. But you know, really, like in this world, everything that is worthwhile does require work. So it's not a bad thing in any way, shape, or form.